the way that energy drinks have a chokehold on me right now. I didn't know it was actually pink. Hell yeah. Hello and welcome back to A Libras Library, or welcome if this is your first time here, and we're going to do a February and March reading wrap up today. Now my friends, it has been a very long time since I've spoken to you. Why? I moved, which means that the past videos that you've seen on my channel, they were all filmed in a different location. They were filmed in my old bedroom. Very sad to see those videos because like that is not my setup anymore, that is not my room anymore, but also I'm very excited because I get to film new videos for you right here. But that does mean that I do not remember what the last things we talked about were or what I read in any of those videos. I have zero clue, no idea. I could go back and watch. I never rewatch my content. Once it's edited and posted, don't go back. Last video that I posted, ironically enough, is a January wrap up, and I think the next video is going to be this February March wrap up, but it's March now, right? So I might put something in between those, don't know. I posted that 9 days ago, but I guarantee you I filmed it over 2 months ago, like at the end of January. So I don't know. I'm sorry. I apologize profusely. But here we are. Hi. Let's talk about books that I read in February and March. As always, we're going to start off with stats, and in February, I only read 2 books. Now, this was when we decided to move and we were looking, and then some things happened and we had to move rather quickly. So I'm surprised that I read these 2 books, but I do know that I read them very early on in February and I didn't pick up anything after this. I read 368 pages and I listened to about 20.4 hours of audiobooks. Yep, half of what I read was digital, half of what I read was an audiobook, and my average rating for the month was 5 stars of those 2 books, because I think I gave both of them 5 stars. The first book that I read and finished was Sparrow by Bal Khabra. I posted about this everywhere on TikTok, on Instagram. I scream about it from the rooftops because I love this book so much. I always tell myself that I'm not gonna like a hockey romance, and then I find a hockey romance and it like eats me up and spits me out, and that's exactly what this one did, right? Like emotional damage, but it was so felt like it was so comforting. This one you're following Sage and Eli. This is book 2 in a series. You don't have to read the first one to read this one unless you want to know who Eli is, but you've learned more about him in his book. Does that make sense? I hope it does. You follow Sage and Eli. Eli is in his rookie season and he is doing very poorly. Like he's performing not at his best basically, and the papers have made him out to be this like party ladies man rookie who just like got signed away. Doesn't matter. He has his parents' money to fall back on, and really in reality he's just really nervous about messing this all up, losing his contract, having to move home, and he's dealing with like some secrets of his past that keep bugging him. So he's just all around stressed, and having the like news reporters and journalists and like basically TMZ up his butt 24/7 is stressing him out, and it's not doing him any favors. And then you have Sage, who is an aspiring ballerina, and she is working full-time 2 jobs and teaching ballet classes while auditioning to be a ballerina and join the company or any company to do a performance. She's also the sole provider for her younger brother. She is his legal guardian, and so that kind of stresses her out, and she doesn't really do anything besides work and take care of her brother. Very much older sister, very much type A, very much Miss Independent. I have to do it all by myself. And dare I say, I felt called out with some of the things that she has said, some of the things she's done, some of the things that she truly believes about herself and like how she operates the world. And I was like, oh, there are cameras in my house? Did you read my diary? Because some of these things that she said, I've said to people, you know, which is even freakier when her and Eli meet, and he is just observing her and watching her, and he's in love with her, and he sees how hardworking and strong and dedicated she is, and the things that he says to her, my almost husband has said to me. Like, I felt a little bit attacked while reading this book, but it is annotated and tabbed. It lives on my true love bookshelf, like, that make me believe in true love. This is where that book sits and lays, and I couldn't ask for a better book. It was 5 stars. I do want to say that having a main character who I already relate to and a love interest who I like eerily reminds me of my person, especially in like looks and whatnot, because when I was reading this he did not get his hair cut, so I was like, that man on the cover looks like that man. As well as the main character having a brother that has the exact same name as my brother and the exact same age gap as my brother. Feeling a little attacked here actually, and I didn't know what to do with that. I was one could say I was thrown for a loop actually. The second book that I read in February was Scythe and Sparrow, 3rd book in the Ruinous Loves trilogy. Final book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. She's done. She's over, and I tabbed it. I listened to this as an audiobook, and I had to get the physical copy. I don't know. I think this is the Walmart edition. It's either the Walmart or the Barnes & Noble edition. I got one, my brother got the other one, and then we just split the artwork. But beautiful, amazing, so much fun. And I can't tell you anything about this book without spoiling the other two books in the Ruinous Love trilogy, because chronologically, this book starts before the events of book 1, and as you're reading on, you see book 1, you see book 2, and then we're kind of caught up with the ending of book 2 and then this book. I really hope that made sense. I really hope you followed along. I was a little bit confused at first, but then I caught up, and yeah. So the way that book 2 ends, you don't pick up right there. You kind of go back, like you go back a year, and then you start there, and then you go through the other 2 books. When I tell you, I've been waiting for any like audio arcs, ebook arcs, physical art. I was like foaming at the mouth almost, getting closer and closer to release day, because I said no matter what happens on release day, I will have a copy of this book in my hand. And my brother and I went to go get our copies together because he's also read the Ruinous Love trilogy. He really loves it. He loves the audiobooks and he recommends it. Him and his manager are in like a little book club, like they give each other book recommendations. I think it's adorable. But the fact that he and I read this at the same time, we were texting each other about it. Again, I was in the process of moving, so I didn't see him all the time. And he saw my copy and he said, I left you alone for 2 days and you finished the book. Yeah, I did. And then I was immediately thrown into a book slump because I was stressed and I just didn't know what else to pick up after finishing this series because there's no follow-up. Brynne did kind of like hint. She hinted at something at the ending of this. So we're gonna hope that we actually get it in the ending. Hope that we actually get maybe a spinoff. She did announce something recently on Instagram, and I should probably go back and look at that, but I also don't want to. I want to be surprised. Just know that this was 5 stars. The entire series for me has been 5 stars. I've loved every single book that has come out that I've read from Brynne Weaver, and I think I need to read her other, like, I think there's 2 or 3 backlist books. But as someone who does not read a lot of dark romance anymore, this one is one that I will eat up every single time. Oh, it says it right there. It's the Barnes & Noble version. So I have the Barnes & Noble version. I can't tell you anything unless you've read the other 2 books, but just know that I loved it. Just know that it was so good. And I don't remember vlogging this at all. So I can't even say, like, if you want spoilers, go watch that vlog, because I was just so enamored and I needed to finish it. Now, if I was a smarter person, I would say, all right, that's it for February. But no, because I also read books in March. It's the end of March. We're going to do this wrap up right here, right now. Technically, it's March 27th, but I don't see myself finishing another book before April 1st. That could be a lie because I'm going to start one tonight. But right now, I'm feeling like I'm pretty done with my March reading list. So I'm just going to do my wrap up here. I will say that since we've gotten settled, I feel myself thawing. I feel the reading slump falling off my shoulders, if you will, because I read 4 books this month, 597 pages, and I listened to 16.25 hours. That is a huge step up. That is 100% increase, if you will, of what I read in February, and now we're here in March. Half of what I read this month were physical books and the other half were audiobooks, and my average rating right now sits at a 4.25. That's again because I've given just about every book that you're about to see probably 5 to 4 stars. I'm missing one. Hang on. I can't even missing one, and it's the first one I have to talk about. I was like, there's only 3 right there. Hold on a moment. The first book that I finished in March was Wings of Starlight by Allison Saft. When I tell you that this was the perfect book. I truly believe that books are meant to find you. You're meant to read books whenever you want to read books. You don't have to keep up with the newest books that you want. However, this book found me at the perfect time. It came out at the perfect time, got back in stock at the perfect time. I bought it and read it and I loved it so much so that I annotated just about every single piece of this book. This one is essentially like a Queen Clarion prequel. If you watched the Tinkerbell movies as a kid, you'll know who Queen Clarion is. She is the queen of Pixie Hollow, this Disney world that was super popular in like the 8s, 9s, and then the 2010s. Had a series of movies, a series of books, some short films, and I think a TV show at one point, and I was obsessed. I was a Pixie Hollow girl. I was a child at the time. What else was I to do but be obsessed? So now as an adult, having a Queen Clarion prequel that is also Queen Clarion and Mallory. Oh my goodness. Sad. I was waiting. I was anticipating the release. It sold out, and then I was anticipating the restock. So this book is not just a Romeo and Juliet retelling. We're going to be together against all odds. romance, it is actually more of like a coming of age, coming into your own power and your own right story for Clarion, because this is before she's queen. She's just princess, and she's learning how to be the queen of Pixie Hollow. But there is a ominous, dangerous monster that is coming from the winter woods over into like the spring, summer, and autumn meadows, and she is learning how to handle that. But her her mentor is basically like, you don't need to figure this out, I'm gonna figure this out. And her path of figuring this out is not what's best in the best interest of everyone in Pixie Hollow. So she goes off on her own, and that's when she meets Mallory, and they kind of team up to figure out how they can save not only like the warm season fairies, but also the winter fairies. And when I tell you that I was not expecting politics, angst, a really strained version of a mother-daughter relationship, with just romance sprinkled on top, oh, 5 stars. I mean, like, automatically 5 stars. I also think that when I think about spring and summer and the seasons changing, it's getting kind of warmer here. We have like what we call second winter, like fake spring. This is perfect to read during fake spring because fear not, the winter woods, they do give you the vibe. The winter wonderland, the cozy cold times, if you will, but also something mysterious lurking in the shadows, in the darkness. I feel like I'm talking a mile a minute, but I always talk this fast. And then I started my journey into historical romance, and I never thought in a million years I would be a historical romance girly. But then one name popped into my head. And if you're on TikTok, you know this journey of me deciding to read Beverly Jenkins' backlist. I did. I decided to go down that rabbit hole, and let me tell you, it is a wonderful place to be, except for the fact that her books are so hard to find. I think they're hard to find just as like a general rule. Mass market books, the tiny compact books, are kind of going out of style in publishing, so they're kind of hard to find. You have to order them, print them, buy them in little free libraries, local library sales, stuff like that. I'm determined and I am deluded into thinking that I will be able to find them. I'm not going after like first editions or original covers or anything like that. Just enough of her backlist that I can say like I am a true Beverly Jenkins stan. And I started with the Destiny series, and this is the first book, Destiny's Embrace. You are following Logan Yates and Mariah Cooper. I love that. She is a butterfly that grows into her own, and Logan is so hard-headed and stubborn and kind of like a ladies' man that falls head over heels for Mariah. These 3 books in the series take place on the Destiny Ranch during like 1885, 86, and I believe 87. Mariah leaves her very toxic and abusive life in Philadelphia and goes to be a housekeeper for Logan and his family in California. And she decides that this is like a best time to reinvent herself, make herself feel a little bit stronger, make herself be a little bit more independent than what she's been her entire life. And when she gets there, she is noticing that this is very different from her small Philly town, and she's willing to put in the work and do the effort, and she challenges Logan every step of the way. Meanwhile, Logan is used to women kind of just like falling in love with him and doing whatever he says, steamrolling all over them. He doesn't really care, and he's not like concerned with getting married to anybody until he meets Mariah. Mariah changes all of that for him. I will say that this book, while it is their love story, you also see other background characters. You get to know more about them. You see more of Logan's drama, Mariah's drama. All of their backgrounds and history kind of come together. It is not as like high energy, fast paced as the second book in the series, but I loved it nonetheless. Okay, it's still worth the read, and I'm so happy I started here. Like, I'm so happy. I just realized that the sun is in fact going down. Like, it's been going down this entire time, but it's also 6:50 at night, so I have 2 more books to talk about before I have no more sun. Then I kind of switched gears a little, and I did in fact go pick up a manga, and I haven't read a manga in years. That's quickly going to change because reading this story, giggling, kicking my feet, and this is the guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all, volume 1. I know very little about how this came to be, how it started, right? I think it was on Twitter in like 2022 or 2023, and then it got picked up to have like a print run. And so volume 1 just came out last October, volume 2 has come out in February, and volume 3 has come out in March, but it's come out in Japanese. It's not yet translated into English. I'm here, I'm sat, I'm ready, and I'm waiting. This one follows 2 classmates. One of them is very popular, outgoing. The other one is more shy and reserved. Out of school, however, the very shy one works at a CD shop that her uncle owns, and she listens to a lot of rock music, a lot of like mid-90s, late 90s, early 2000s, and she just really likes music, likes talking about music. And our main character, the bubbly, happy-go-lucky popular girl also likes listening to rock music. Not so much the pop music that all of her friends are listening to. When she goes into the CD shop, she thinks she sees a guy, and really it's her classmate who wears like a mask, jewelry, painted fingernails, and all of that, just like different from school attire. So she has no idea who this person is, but she develops a crush nonetheless. The first few chapters, so funny, so cute, and I love them. The last chapter, it ends on a cliffhanger, and I have volume 2. It's sitting on my shelf, and I cannot wait to go start it. So picking up a manga or a graphic novel, they're quick, they're easy, they're short. You'll find your love of reading. And then what I just finished yesterday is actually Destiny's Surrender by Beverly Jenkins. This is the second book in the Destiny series, and I will be starting the third one very soon. Probably when I'm done filming this, because it's just, they're so good. They're so good. I cannot tell another person that these are so good. So in Destiny Surrender, you are following Andrew and Wilhelmina, aka Billy. Billy is actually like, I don't know how to say this politely for YouTube not to censor me, but she is like a call girl, a lady of the night, if you will. A fun companion. And Andrew is obsessed with her. In love, if you will. And he spends all his time with her until they part for like 2-3 months at a time. And when he comes back to find her, she's nowhere to be found until she shows up on his ranch one day with a baby in tow. So yes, secret baby trope. It's not a spoiler, it's on the back of the book. Like what, 1886, his mother makes them get married. So it is a forced marriage of convenience, secret baby. All of the drama, all of the angst, because nowadays in a book, you're like, oh my gosh, the drama. And like, back here, you would have thought that they committed a crime. You would have thought that they robbed a bank and held people at gunpoint. The drama, the angst, the way that people treated them throughout the story, and like the reason why Billy was in hiding and why she was running away and came to find Andrew in the first place. The tea is hot and piping, and I was like, no wonder. They were like just causing drama, just having mess all over the place. They did not have radio or television to distract them. Actually, is that true? When was the radio invented? I feel like that's a fact that I, as a person, should know, and I don't know. Yeah, okay, so the radio wasn't even invented until like the mid-1890s, and this is taking place in 1885. No radio. They had to make up their own drama. They had this. All they had was church, work, family, and gossip. That's what they had. And you know what? I'm obsessed. I was like, please tell me more. Billy and Andrew's like relationship, it starts off so cute and then it gets so rocky, and then they're both realizing that they still have feelings for each other and they still really want to make their marriage work and be together for their child. Like, good God. Also, like the main antagonist of this story, it was so satisfying. I thought it was gonna be like an anticlimactic ending. Kind of satisfying actually to me. Like, there is a vlog if you want more spoilers, if you want to see my actual reaction to what happened. There is a reading vlog of me just reading books for a week and seeing what I can do. It's in there because I was gagged. Your girl was like, oh, did that really just happen? And 5 stars, 5 stars, a million stars, if you will. So here's my reading wrap up from February and March. All of these were between 4 and 5 stars, except for the manga. I do not rate my manga. That's all for me for the wrap up. If you want to stick around, I'm going to be posting a April like TBR. Maybe today. Maybe I'll film it and like post it right after this one. I don't know. I doubt I will. But I kind of want to pick out some books that I'm going to read in April. And then I'll be back to do a wrap up. We'll see how that goes. Thank you for sticking around. If you came from TikTok because I posted that like, get ready with me. Hi, welcome. We're going to try and have fun around here. Even though editing is like the bane of my existence. I'm so bad at it. And I'm testing out so many different things. Well then, thank you for showing up and hanging out with us. Probably going to go clean my kitchen and read a book.